Hello and welcome. So today's free training is on a favorite topic of mine, how to explode your HVAC service department and make it more profitable than ever. You know, the opportunities are there, but it's up to us to find those opportunities. It's up to us to discover the goal that our service technicians are walking by every day. In this particular video, we're going to be talking about a few things. We're going to talk about how you can earn more money in service without selling through a better process. We're going to talk about how to get your service technicians fully on board and increase those service tickets. And we're going to do so with even your most reluctant service technicians, those who hate selling. We're going to go into the three key elements to a successful service call process. We'll talk about where you're losing money right now in a large way, how you can fix that right now. And we're going to get into what's really going on in service that your service technicians refuse to tell you, and with good reason. When you find out, it's going to be a little bit upsetting. And then we're going to talk about the three key areas of customer service, what they are, how to make them stand out, and if you do so in such a way, there's actually a fourth level, a fourth key area that you're going to discover, okay? So, first of all, my name is Pete Ramsey. I am with HVAC Greatness. I've been in the heating and air conditioning industry for 39 years, and I started off as a service technician. So this is a topic that is near and dear to my heart. Get out your notebook. We're going to dig in. I think we're going to discover some really good gems for you today. So let's talk about the three areas of customer impact that will allow you to stand out. Number one is an excellent product. Now, the product is more than the component. The product is an actual labor included component. It's the repair. Okay, so if we're adding refrigerant, that's more than just a refrigerant. It is the skilled labor to put that in. It is the diagnosis. It is the leak repair. It's everything that is involved in order to complete that repair. Next is an excellent delivery system. In most industries today, that is heavily technology driven. But the cool thing about us is technology can't replace our technicians. It's the labor. And so this is a key area that can really make you stand out. And it's the biggest opportunity that we have to stand out above our competition, because they may have an excellent product as well. Now, they may have an excellent delivery system, but it's the excellent service mindset that really makes the difference. And if we get these things working well, and particularly the service mindset and teaching our technicians how to connect with our customers in a better way, then we go into the fourth level, which is an excellent customer relationship. And that's where loyalty comes in, and it's very strong. So one of the things that we can look at in our delivery system is supporting technology. We should be on flat rate for sure. Customers consider upfront or flat rate pricing more trustworthy than time and materials. I mean, if you just think about it, you tell a homeowner that the job could take 2 hours or 3 hours or 4 hours, and they agree to do the work. You know, they're watching their clock and they're watching you, and they get concerned about little things like if you go to the bathroom or if you run up to get a part, did you stop and get a drink on the way? There are all these little things that come into play where if you just give an upfront price, they don't have to worry about that. It's a better experience for your customer. Flat rate also makes better financial sense for your business. It allows your superior technicians or more experienced technicians to produce more revenues. Time and material actually penalizes them. Now, let me give you an example here real quick. Let's say your top tech completes a repair in 1 hour. And for easy math, you charge $100 per hour, and you charge $100 for that 1 hour. A junior tech may come along and it takes them 2 hours. Well, if you charge $100 an hour, the bill comes up to $200 for that same repair. Hopefully not for the same customer. But if you look at the big picture for the whole day, you've got both technicians billing for 8 hours and both of them yielding $800 for the company. And your top tech, you have to pay more, so that additional money comes out of your pocket and not out of what's produced by the top tech. Can you see how that does not make sense? Now, flat rate, your top tech may perform 5 repairs in a given day, and if the average repair were $500, the top tech could yield $2,500 in this example. A junior tech is less experienced and less efficient. Maybe they can only do 3 repairs of those $500 repairs, totaling $1,500. Can you see now how flat rate is better for your business, for your technicians, for your customers? Hopefully so. So if you are not on flat rate, you may want to get on that right away. Next, consider this. Before our impressive product delivery systems can work, we actually have to have a customer that's demanding the service, right? So now we want to talk about how we get the customer opportunities. And what is the obvious? Well, it's advertising. So let's consider your cost per lead, and how does that relate to new customer acquisition? And what does that cost per? So if we spent $1,000, for example, and we had 5 leads respond, that would be 1,000 divided by 5, $200 each, which by today's standards would probably be pretty cheap. What is your cost per lead? $200 each, $300 each, more? You see, the challenge with new leads, these are people that don't yet know you, like you, or trust you, unlike the customers that you already have. And so when the lead comes in, they are going to ask disqualifying questions, for example. And so that means that your call taker must be really qualified, because when they ask the question, how much do you charge for a service charge? And your call taker is not trained in a way that can convert that disqualifying question over into a scheduled appointment, you may lose that $200 lead at the telephone, and you won't even get into the door to go perform the service. I hope that makes sense. So consider the temperature of your lead. So this is a cold lead. They don't know you. But it is part of what we have to do to bring new customers in. We don't need to spend more money on these than we have to. So let's look at, by contrast, cost per lead when you're marketing to your existing customer base. As you get through customer acquisition mode, you start to get a good customer base, now you have your own pond you can fish in, if that makes sense. They already know you, they already like you, and they already trust you. And when they call your office, they're not asking disqualifying questions. They're just going to make the appointment. Okay, so you can use things like email marketing, or maybe you have an electronic magazine that you send out periodically talking about your new services that you're adding on. There's a number of things that you can do that stimulate customer interest and result in the customer calling in and setting an appointment. One other one is a preventive maintenance program. You should be on one. If you're not, just understand this is your opportunity to strengthen the bond between your customer and your company, as well as loyalty. So clearly that's done on our 2 visits when we come out in the spring and then we come out in the fall if you do it that way. So we strengthen that relationship, and also it gives them the opportunity to identify any other problems that their home may have in connected with the services that you provide. Okay, so preventive maintenance is a very strong way to market to your existing customer base as well. So what about marketing to the customer while you're actually on the service call? You ever think about that? Here's where we hit the wall, most of our owners. I don't want my customers to feel like they're being sold to. Okay, but here's the difference. There's a sales type service and there's a consultative type service. And depending on which one you use, it alters the customer perception. So which way is your process forcing your customers to see you? Like you're always trying to sell them something, or you're just doing a thorough consultation and you're bringing this information to your customer's attention in a way that is well received. Okay, so here's the pros. When we're service call marketing, while you're on the service call, the pros are the cost for additional sales are nothing, you're already there. The closing ratio on these sales attempts are virtually 100%. Obviously, if they don't have the money, or if it's not right timing, or if there are other issues, then it doesn't make sense for them to move ahead. But we're talking about the vast majority of them. They will go ahead and move forward and invest in these. Also, it will help you raise your average service tickets, sometimes 3 times, 4 times, and 5 times, especially on customers that you haven't gone through the whole process with yet. Newer customers, or the first time that you're implementing this type of a strategy. You'll need fewer calls to stay billable. So instead of doing 5 repairs at 5 different homes, maybe you're doing 5 repairs at 2 or 3 different homes. So you have less drive time, you have less fuel expenditures, you have less advertising needs because you don't need to put your technician in front of so many different customers. So this is a great way to save in advertising costs. Now, it's also an opportunity to impress your customers in a positive way, but if this is done wrong, you may impress them in a negative way. We have to be careful here. It's an opportunity to reward your technicians for proper behaviors in a financial manner as well. Okay, what about the non-consultative or sales style service call? Well, we run the risk of the customers feeling sold to. Selfish technicians might abuse your customer's trust for personal gain and try to push things on them that they really don't want to buy or don't need. In some cases, they may actually just go ahead and take care of it, throw it on the bill, and surprise the customer. That's no good. So we don't want this negative stigma tied to your brand in your market. And so this is a big risk if you perform your service calls in this manner. It puts the customer on the defense. You can lose their trust, you can lose their loyalty, and ultimately you can lose that customer. Also, a sympathetic technician will feel uncomfortable and they'll abandon these salesy type processes anyway. And if you look at your average tickets, you'll see, regardless of what they say, you'll see whether or not they believe in the process. And them believing into and buying into the process is key. Okay, so the customers are evolving. They can sense it when you're trying to take advantage of them. And we don't want to take advantage of our customers. In fact, they are very important. They're one of our 3 key elements. The customer is what we're focused on. But we also have to focus on the technician and his and her needs, also the company and its needs financially and whatnot. So we need to take care of all 3 of these in order for this to work out for everybody. So let's talk first of all about the company. We can utilize this type of a technology to make your company more profitable through its service department in a number of ways. Number one, it does increase your reputation when you do a consultative style approach. It increases your revenues. It satisfies and fulfills your team, service technicians, the office staff. Everybody feels better about doing a better and honest job. It will reduce unnecessary waste like driving all over town or advertising for additional customers when you really don't need additional customers. It increases customer retention as well as employee retention. You'll receive better reviews, you'll get more referrals, you'll stabilize your cash flow year-round as well as your schedules year-round. So it's a very good thing for the company, but also for the customer. Customers hate to be sold to, but they love to buy. We have to understand this. Customers hate to be sold, but they love to buy. Now, while price is an important aspect to any consumer, you and I are included in this, right? Your best customers value being treated honestly and fairly above all, right? They'll pay more if it's for honest and fair reasons. But they also want professionalism. They want quality. And the big piece is they want to be involved in the decision process even though they don't understand it. So if we can make this understandable, now we're operating at a whole nother level. And they do tend to interpret things like your technician's cleanliness, the organization, and the delivery structure in which you deliver your service as technical excellence. In other words, a clean service tech does a better job than a disheveled one in the customer's mind. That's the way they approach understanding this. We've got the company, we've got the customer. The magic, if it's going to happen, it's got to come from your technicians. Okay, so let's get into their world just a little bit. You must get your service technicians to see the world like you do. Now, if you're talking round earth and they're talking flat earth, we're coming from 2 different worlds. Okay, we've got to get on the same page. And in order to do that, you're going to have to understand what that technician is thinking. And that means you got to understand them. So let's go down some dark alleys with your service technician and let's talk about some things that maybe you haven't considered. First of all, are your service technicians as happy working for you as you think? And before you say yes, consider these items. Some 90% of today's service technicians hide their true thoughts and frustrations regarding their job from you, the boss. They feel that by sharing these frustrations, it will just make the situation worse. Some 80% do not perform their work to your expectations. Well, because they don't believe in it, number one. And number two, you're not there. You can't see what they're really doing. So they're going to do it the way they want it done. Most service technicians these days feel incentivized to just do their job. And that's the repair in their mind. I am a master service technician. I'm not a salesperson. I'm here to fix stuff, not sell stuff. That's what I do. I fix stuff. 75% refuse to sell because they aren't comfortable with selling, or there's not enough incentive in it for them personally. They know what you charge. They also know what the parts cost, and they know what you're paying them. And they think the difference is all profits. Many of them aren't making enough money with you, so they figure out ways to make up that perceived loss in other ways. A reported 40% of technicians feel justified in stealing from your company in one way or another. And they may not even perceive it as stealing. It may not be money, but it could be product, taking a little bit of refrigerant, or using your vehicle when they shouldn't. It could be time when they left early, but they reported that they worked a full day. Or it could be customers where they tell the customer, hey, the company's going to charge you this. I can save you money if you let me come back after work and do it. So this happens a lot, guys. The last piece is that all service technicians talk to each other. And that means outside of your company too. They know where they can make more money. Let that sink in a minute. They know where they can go and make more money than what you're paying them. A lot of technicians have the mindset, if I wait on my company to pay me what I'm worth, I'll never get ahead. So of course I'm doing side jobs. Everybody does side jobs. Think about when they tell you, well, I can't work late today, or I can't work this weekend, or can't work tomorrow, or I'm sick, I have plans, or I've got guests in town. They may be doing side jobs. And in many cases, some of them are. But can you really blame them? They may be thinking, why should I stay here? I can make more money working for X. You know that your service technicians can make more money elsewhere. And there are plenty of technician thieves out there, like institutions, governments, unions, larger competitors that pay higher, they pay sales commissions, they have more benefits, or maybe even the work is easier. Is there anything any worse than investing in a young service technician just to get them to that next level, only to lose them for a few dollars on the hour to your competitor? Okay, so now before you go blaming them, this is on you, boss. This is your responsibility. You're going to have to fix this. And so if you want an atmosphere that yields high performers, you're going to have to create an environment that they can flourish in. These are 4 key elements that you'll want to include in your service atmosphere and culture. Number 1 is enthusiasm. An enthusiastic technician is a productive technician. We can keep them enthusiastic in a number of ways. Recognition is one. Pride of craftsmanship is another one. Compensation is yet another one. They need to feel connection. They need to be a part of something. Most employees like to work with companies that they feel like they're a part of something bigger than just themselves. So if you're sending your technicians off and they're gone all day and there's no team building involved, you may want to focus on building connection. Satisfaction. Fulfillment in your job is huge. Accomplishment in what you do is huge. Personal growth is huge. Do you have that junior technician over there cleaning coils day in and day out? Or are you cross-training them in other areas with maybe a lead service tech, or maybe helping install an IAQ piece, or maybe helping the installation team change out some equipment one day? Give them some personal growth opportunities to continue to learn and to grow within your organization, and that will yield satisfaction. The final piece is coherence. Today's Generation Z, they want to understand things. That's why they ask these questions all the time. Why do we do this? Why do we do that? Why do we do the other? It's not to be difficult. They need to understand the big process. And if you want them to perform well, they need to understand. It only makes sense. Okay, so how do we fix this? First of all, boss, you need to take the lead and you need to take action right now. It's costing you money. It's costing you money in waste, it's costing you money in lost opportunity, and it's costing you money in other ways that we have yet to even talk about. So number 2, Plan your strategy to unify your three elements: the company, the customers, as well as the employees. Number 3, build or invest in a consultative service call process, one that supports your strategy, one that holds your technicians accountable, one that ensures an awesome customer experience. Number 4, create an incentive program that rewards technicians' desired behaviors that you want, not just an incentive program for them doing their jobs. Number 5, educate your employees on the financial realities of operating an HVAC business. This is key. If you really want your technicians to buy in, they have to understand the cost, because they're the ones that are having those conversations with your customers. Why does that cost so much? And when you educate them, it better prepares them mentally to move forward and handle those situations. Number 6 is to train your team on how to consult their way to better sales, using role play and other skills so that it builds your technicians' confidence, it builds your culture, and it lifts their pride in craftsmanship. Understand the difference between educate and train. Education is information. Training is application. A good example would be soldiers are trained through repetition for combat, so that the day they go into combat, the strong emotion doesn't freeze them up. Their training takes over, their body goes into motion, and they go to work doing what they have to do. The same is true with your technicians. Once we've role-played these scenarios out, your technician is thrown into a situation that you have actually trained them for. The training will take over, and they're going to come out on top every time. Finally, number 7, set the example. It's called 360-degree leadership. And this is what you want to encourage your team to do as well, which means when you're not there, the leadership continues to go because your technicians are implementing that 360-degree leadership mentality. And this is a good thing. So the overall benefits to this type of a service call program is increase your service ticket averages, reduce callbacks, increase equipment sales leads. This is huge. Reduce your direct costs, reduce your advertising, increase profitability, increase off-season valleys. In other words, when everything's slow, you're busier and you're doing a better job. Decrease high-season peaks. How so? Well, it's because during the off-season, you did a more thorough job and you proactively took care of all these possible breakdowns before they occurred. And here comes the high season. Guess what? The systems run right through the hottest and coldest parts of the year without failure because you took care of these things ahead of time. Increased customer satisfaction, improve customer bond. Notice I didn't say employee customer bond. This is because when your team provides consistency, Bob goes out and delivers this great experience to the customer. The customer's first thought is, wow, I like Bob. Then Jim comes out and duplicates that process, and the customer quickly realizes, hey, that wasn't Bob, that's the company. Their whole team delivers service this way. Do you get that? This will help you improve your reviews both in quality and quantity. It's going to economy-proof your business so that you're busy no matter what's going on with the economy. It's going to improve your employee morale. It's going to increase their pay, and that pay is going to come from additional revenues, not the revenues that you already have, so everybody wins. It's going to help you restore the balance of family personal lives for your team. We've got to quit working our team to death during the summer and winter. There's a better way. Okay, so if you need a little help with implementing this in a ready-made process, we have a program. It's called the Consultative Service Call Process. And in this, we teach a number of things. Now, first of all, this program is built around what's written in white right here. We have created an industry-exclusive customer assessment document. Okay, so when your technicians are talking technical and your homeowner is trying to understand this, there needs to be a bridge in place for that communication to be effective. This downloadable document will translate that technical talk in a way that the customer understands it, and that document does the selling for your technician. Your technician does not sell. They only consult. Like I said, the document takes care of the rest. Very powerful. Very proud of this. Also, we have big picture training that's designed for not just for the techs, but for the rest of your team, owners included. And we have a process with flow charts and everything on building rapport. It's a different flow chart that each of your technicians follow consistently, which delivers a consistent customer experience for each of your customers, no matter who comes out. We have some investment presentation strategies so that when we lay the pricing out, it's done so in a way that leads to sales success without selling. Next, we have training room ready instruction by yours truly, Pete Ramsey. We do this live. We can do this live and in person when I come out to your facilities and teach your team, or we can do it live via Zoom video classroom, where we can do this virtually and online. We have the complete consultative service call process overview, that's downloadable. We have consultant versus sales mindset training. We lean heavily on that because technician beliefs and mindset are everything. We have product positioning strategies which allow for automatic upsells. The customers do it themselves. So we have 2 implementation strategies. Number 1, you can take what you've learned here today and make your own process. Okay, so you can do this. Or number 2, I've put my calendar link in here. If you want me to help you with one-on-one training or live training for your group or both, click my schedule below. Let's set up a time and we'll talk about it. And let's see what option is best for you. But the point is, don't waste any more time. It's time to take action. Get to work on your process. Call me if you need me. You can see my calendar link below. Pete Ramsey here, HVAC Greatness. I sure appreciate your time. I'll talk to you on the next one. Bye-bye.